Listen, I also heard a really important part of making sure that, ASU basketball and sports is up to date is the podcast NIL collective that we're starting. So if anybody would like to be PHNX Sun Devils, James Harden, DM's open.
Happy Tuesday, and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. Of course, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by Circle K. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. I am Anthony Totri, joined as always by the man growing his beard. That is, of course, Eric Ruby. We have Captain Redbeard behind the Mac, who does indeed have a full beard. He is, of course,
like 3 beards in one,
making all of the magic happen. Guys, do us a solid. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. We got JJB in the chat with one word: hoops. Hoops. We'll be getting into it. We'll be talking Arizona State men's basketball, the last 4 games of the regular season, the closest to the Sun Devils' Final Four as they'll probably get. We're going to be talking about James Harden and his recent investment into Arizona State University. And then, of course, Kenny Dillingham, big baseball guy, talking to the Arizona Diamondbacks. We've got some sound from KD himself and what he had to say to the Valley Vipers. But before we get into all of that, how you doing, Senor Rubis?
Good. I'm excited.
Are you excited?
I'm a James Harden truther. As in, beyond the ASU ties, he is somebody whose style of basketball is hated by a lot of people. And when he was dropping 60, 15, and 15, man, for some reason, people are like, this guy is not good at the sport of basketball.
Why did people say that?
I think Kyle hates Harden.
Kyle, do you?
Kyle's a Rockets fan.
Yeah, I had to endure Harden ball for.
You had to endure. He was an MVP.
It was great for the first few years, and then it's like, all right, all we do is Mike D'Antoni pass the ball around, shoot some threes, and give it to Harden for 40 minutes a game.
Well, sorry, and the game plan was that to give it to maybe the greatest offensive engine the game's ever seen. Sorry.
I just got tired of it.
I can understand how you get tired of it.
I would kill to have prime James Harden on my basketball team.
I think any team would
Listen,
kill to have prime Harden.
I've always been a Harden guy. Obviously, the ASU part of it. He's the only college jersey that I own. Is an ASU.
That's a great college jersey.
Is an ASU James Harden. Oh, dude, went triple platinum back when I was at ASU.
Oh yeah. That thing has seen some fraternity parties. Let me tell you that.
But I think that his ties to ASU, I feel like, are not something that the general public really knows a lot about.
Yeah.
Like, it's more one of those, sports fun facts. Like, hey, do you remember where James Harden went to college?
Fun facts.
Right? Like, I swear, if you went to, a trivia in, Jamestown, Massachusetts, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, what college did James Harden go to? I feel like 50% of the people would probably get it wrong.
Yeah, I guess that's probably a fair assumption. And in reality, James Harden, since he left for the NBA, there hasn't been a ton of media attention, I feel toward Harden at Arizona State, right?
No, I think the most is just when he would give them his shoes.
Yeah, when he would give him his shoes, or if the Rockets were ever in town or the Clippers were ever in town, and he would show up at the facility and talk with the team or practice. But there's never been there are certain jerseys in college sports that are iconic, certain Kentucky players, certain Duke players, whatever. But Arizona State doesn't really have that kind of pull, I feel historically within Arizona State basketball.
We hear Devin Booker, if you're having an hour-long conversation on Devin Booker, you're probably bringing up Kentucky.
Yeah.
Relatively, quickly, right? Oh, yeah, and he went to Kentucky. Same thing with Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis. You're going to bring it up with Cooper Flagg and with Duke. right?
There's just certain programs that have that pull.
Right. And then there are certain like seasons in college basketball where people are like, oh man, like I remember when that player, like Michael Beasley at Kansas State.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's a little bit more memorable. But I mean, James Harden's impact here, and not to say that he hasn't like that he's separated himself from the program, because clearly he hasn't, because kind of buried the lead. I just jumped right into Harden.
I know you just jumped
Harden talk. But
such an NBA guy, just totally skipped
dude,
over what we're talking about today.
I just haven't had the chance to talk prime James Harden.
Yeah, you just want to not talk about the Suns,
dude,
so
bad. But I guess we should probably like tell people why I'm gushing over James Harden right now.
Yeah, well, let's have James Harden tell you himself. James Harden spoke with Front Office Sports about NIL and really his time at Arizona State, and he has opted to kind of give a hefty chunk of change, 6 figures, to the Arizona State Sun Angel Collective. This is what Harden told Front Office Sports.
NIL nowadays is the most important thing, just because kids want to, be compensated for their play and their work, and which, it makes sense. I wanted to be a part of helping, that the team and the school get players, because, we're a very, very great program and a great school. And if NIL is the problem, then I can help with that. So I'm still involved. Like I live, in Scottsdale. I'm there all the time. So it just made sense. And, I love being on campus.
I love that. I love the fact that this guy, it's been so long since he was actually at Arizona State as a basketball player. And for him to say that he still believes Arizona State is a really good school, a really good program, and NIL is kind of the name of the game now. And he feels like if that's something that he can help with, that he is certainly going to do that. And I mean, it's paid dividends for Arizona State. I think there were probably some times over the last couple of off seasons where it's like, okay, what's Arizona State going to do NIL wise? And then this past offseason, you see basketball, you see football being able to retain certain players. Like these are the types of donations and NIL efforts that really keep these programs afloat on a national basis, right? For Bobby Hurley to go get a Joe Sonsannon and a Jaden Quaintance, for Kenny to be able to retain a Jordan Tyson and a Sam Levitt. Like it's these types of efforts that make it possible.
Do you think, because he didn't say when he made the donation.
Yeah.
Do you think he's the reason why they have Quaintance and Sannon right now? Because it did kind of feel like
totally speculative.
Like obviously just guessing.
I don't have any information on it, but yes.
It didn't say he didn't say, "Hey, I just made this donation."
I don't think he just made the donation.
No, that's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
This donation happened in the past.
Because what we were attributing this to was the now canceled Bobby Hurley doc.
Yeah.
Where we were like, it feels like the program got a little more cash flow all of a sudden and was able to grab its highest rated recruit since who?
James Harden. So
I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, I think this donation already happened.
Yeah, so he might be the reason that that's happening. I don't know when this interview was, but
I wish I knew. Again, kind of how they split it up. Like, did James Harden donate 6 figures and say, hey, like, I want this all to go to the basketball program? Or did he donate it and say, you know what, I want this to just be split up however, so Sun Angel feels like it's necessary?
Let me speak completely confidently, but with actually no idea.
No
how it
fact
really
here.
works.
This
but
is just
in my head. Okay. In my head, what I'm about to say is just like, yeah, absolutely. Like, this is 100% right.
Okay.
I feel like if you're
Love
not
that.
just, but if you're donating smaller amounts of money, like, non-NBA player amounts of money, like a normal person,
we would.
$5, $10, $20, $50, $100, right? Whatever it might be. I feel like that goes into like a general NIL fund and then gets like divvied up based off of like needs. But if you're walking in and writing a check for like 6 figures or more, I feel like $500,000. You get to say whether or not the arena has your name on it. Right? Like you get to say what it kind of
I think it costs you more than $500,000.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is I think that like if James Harden is approaching you with $100,000.
Yeah.
Right.
Which by all means, James, if you're listening, again, my DMs are open.
James Harden, I know you're an avid listener.
Yeah.
Watcher. I think Harden is more of an audio guy.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. And me and Kyle, we spend a solid hour a week just him and I sitting around talking about how much we envy James Harden's beard.
Why don't you invite me to this conversation?
Well, because
if anybody should have beard envy out of the three of us, you're leaving somebody out, okay?
You could be invited.
It is.
You could be invited from now on.
It does kind of suck that it's like you two, it's just like so easy. Like it's just like boom, like full beard, like the thickest beards you've ever seen in your entire life.
It's. I think you'd be over it in a day.
Probably, but it's like grass is always greener, right? It's grass is always greener. Like I just want to see what it looks like, right? Like if I had a Kyle beard,
There
wouldn't
are
that be
AI
crazy?
things that you
No,
can.
that doesn't count. Like real life. Anyway. But if you want to invite me and we can talk,
Yeah,
like we
we
can
can
watch
all
like
talk.
Harden highlights.
Yeah,
too,
I'm
and I
down.
can-
Well, I think that Kyle might leave. at that
no,
point.
here's the thing. We'll cut out all the free throws. So that way
There
it's
goes
fair.
30 points.
Dude, I promise you, Kyle.
2 minutes of threes.
Kyle, if you watch, there's probably like a 30-minute highlight video of like James Harden MVP season, regular season highlights. I guarantee you, if you watch that, it would make you feel something. Like you'd be like, damn, I kind of missed this. Like I remember this because it's gonna have no free throws.
Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true. Like every game I would sit down, like he'd make like a sick three or, a great play, pass it off to Capella down low. Like I'd watch that play so many times.
He was cold.
and then we watched 30
was
minutes
disgusting.
of free throws of Harden at the line, and it was so effective. But
that's. I mean,
man, it was hard to watch.
This is getting so off topic. But
We're talking about James Harden.
but like it's such a methodical way of playing basketball. Like it's a
Sure.
great in theory strategy, right? Like it's their free throws. Like you're literally getting
and he
what
shot
should
like
be
high 80s on him too.
like between that, but between what he did, assists, rebounds, didn't really ever play defense, but like he was
False.
he was the entire
False.
team offensively.
False narrative, libel, slander.
Really.
James Harden was one of the better post defenders for a guard that the NBA had,
defenders
even
for
in
a
his
guard.
MVP
How about
years.
a perimeter defender?
He was caught sleeping and the lowlights were bad, but if you watch like full James Harden games, like he wasn't any worse than what you would expect the best offensive engine in the NBA to be. You can't expect him to be locking down, but he was not. He had really bad lowlights, but he got better, and now he's actually more solid. Well, he's a little older now. But
Grandpa Harden.
He was
Grandpa
a little
Harden.
solid, especially in the post. But anyway, back to NIL, whatever. You saw the results as far as the recruiting goes, and I think James Harden's word of saying, like, we're a great program, like you need more widespread conversation like that, and it's hard right now. Like, we cover the team. It's hard to be like,
yeah,
it's in a great spot, but there are a lot of great things about the program that, coaching wise, players that have come through here have loved the coaches. And even as far as like city fan support when you're good, like there's a lot of things going where it's like, okay, like Tempe would be an attractive place for any high school basketball player.
Yeah.
So to have an influence like James Harden to be like, hey, I went there, I'm still donating, I love being there, publicly on a major outlet like Front Office Sports, like that isn't a small deal for where the program is currently.
No, absolutely. It's not a small deal. And I was just about to say, I think that is phenomenal publicity, right? Regardless of what happens with Arizona State basketball moving forward this season and heading into next year, to be able to have a former MVP of the NBA come out and say, you know what, I love Arizona State. I think it's a great school. It's a great university. I love my time there. I'm there all the time. I'm in Scottsdale. And, if NIL is something that I need to help commit with my financial situation, I'm absolutely all for that, right? If you're a recruit right now and you are being pursued by Arizona State and you see something like this, you see a guy like James Harden, a Hall of Famer one day in the NBA, to say these types of things about this university, I think it does make you think twice of like, you know what, maybe Arizona State is the place that I need to go check out where I do need to spend my college year. So that certainly I think is going to have an impact. I do want to discuss maybe some other Arizona State legends that could potentially also have that impact.
So yes, real quick, just reading through the Front Office Sports thing, because there was an article that came along with it. I wasn't aware of that. They did say that the donation led to Quains. I wonder if that was a 2-year deal.
Hope so.
No, seriously.
Hope so.
Seriously, right?
That of him saying like, you'll get this money.
Yeah.
If
I'm gonna have to dig through that whole story later. But shout out to Alex Schiffer. I want to give credit on that, who did the interview and wrote a story on James Harden for Front Office Sports.
You love that though. Love to hear that money went straight to
it worked
trying to get Jaden Quains.
It worked.
He's the best player on the team.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah, it worked. And if you keep him for a second year, it really worked.
Yeah.
Imagine this team without Jaden.
No, I prefer to not imagine that world.
And let's imagine a world where other ASU legends drop some
Let's do
big
it.
bucks.
Phil
like
Mickelson, Barry Bonds,
Terrell Suggs,
Al Michaels,
Spencer Torkelson,
Torkbaum, John Rahm. Like I'm a little bit more
Anthony
surprised. Yeah, that's exactly
golf.
Yeah,
Are you say
I'm a little bit more surprised
that
I haven't
that
heard.
hasn't happened.
No, I'm not sure, but I think
that's
from
the also thing is like we also
public,
never know.
but like why wouldn't you?
We all know Phil Mickelson doesn't like the spotlight.
He still finds it.
I'm mad.
John Rahm,
completely ironic.
Barry Bonds, Barry's spoken to the baseball team in the past. Al Michaels, he's talked to the Cronkite School. I'd love to
Jimmy
know.
Kimmel?
I'd love to know
Where
the
are
financial.
you, Jimmy Kimmel?
I'd love to know the financial contributions of some of these individuals toward NIL, if any at all. I think it is a very hot and cold as it relates to NIL from former university legends. Like if you are a guy like a James Harden and you still, are consistently in the Valley and you love Arizona State and you loved your time there and you're very successful at your craft, and sure. And you're making, again, NBA money is different than a lot of the other money that we're talking about.
Ever. Yeah. Golf money can
but
get pretty
still,
crazy.
no one's saying that.
John Rahm, like
no one's saying that John Rahm needs to commit millions of dollars to Arizona State.
Saying that.
You're saying that?
Kimmel, where you at, dude? Pony up.
I mean, James Harden.
We need to keep Jaden Quains in Tempe, and how are you helping Jimmy Kimmel?
James Harden career earnings is $372 million.
Hey, six figures could be $999,000.
It could be versus like let's say a John Rahm career earnings. It can't. It's $124 million.
John Rahm is an example that you can't really go
I am
with
in the wrong
if
industry.
If you're winning, if you are winning at the highest level in golf,
he's still about 3 times short what James Harden.
James Harden's been in the NBA for a very long time now.
Yeah,
and has signed the highest contract in NBA history. I feel like multiple times, but I want to say, though, because as nice as it would be to have some of these former athletes go and do it, there are current alums of Arizona State that just are not high-level athletes but have ascended in their business and have dropped some very significant donations to keep the Sun Angel Collective afloat. And I think a majority of really the tough lifting is what?
I'm just reading Al Michaels' contract. He signed a 3-year, $33 million deal with Amazon to do Thursday Night Football.
Bad. It's not a bad deal to sign.
That's a great deal.
That's what I'm bringing to Espo's desk.
Oh yeah, 3 years, 33 million. How much guaranteed there?
32 and a half.
32 and a half mil. The rest is just a signing bonus.
No, the rest is like show up and you'll get this.
Okay.
It's like those incentives where it's like, yeah, I hit this in like week 3.
Gotcha.
It's like do 10 shows a year.
Guys, let us know in the comments which Arizona State alum you would like to see follow James Harden's suit and invest in Arizona State's Sun Angel Collective. We are going to be talking more ASU hoops. We're going to be talking Kenny Dillingham and so much more on the other side of this break. Can you do me a favor? Can you turn your hat around for me?
Sure.
Just, I want to showcase our friends over at Branded Bills. Look, elevate your brand with Branded Bills, the perfect headwear and apparel. Whether you need snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, or tees, Branded Bills has you covered with 2 things, performance and style. And I'd go a step further and say there's actually a third thing. Do you know what that is?
No.
Affordability. Okay. Over at Branded Bills, they are not throwing out just skyrocketed prices for these hats. They're affordable, they're comfy, and they make a cap for everybody in every style. We took some time out of our day to actually go down to Branded Bills and see firsthand how they do it.
I was on vacation.
It was a lot of fun. The passion that they have for this craft, it really shows in the quality of the hats. Go check them out. Make sure you head to brandedbills.com and use that code PHNX for 20% off your first order.
Let me speak to Suns fans here.
Speak.
Hi, I know you're so sad. I know you're so depressed. You want to know what I do when I'm sad and I'm depressed? Have a good meal.
Pizza.
Eat pizza. Eat good pizza. Eat Spinato's Pizza. It's the place for Suns fans. Depressed and delusional. Whatever kind of Suns fan you are, you can go to the watch parties at Spinato's where you can watch the games with Phoenix Suns dancers and the Gorilla, and you can stop by for your chance to win free Suns tickets, gift certificates, and more exciting prizes. Speaking of, actually, breaking news. Nobody actually knows about this. I went to a Suns game against the Grizzlies, who they play tonight, but during my vacation, and I don't know if you've been recently, but they throw like Spinato's pizza boxes into the crowd, and they have like a free pizza certificate in it. Megan caught one.
No way.
Yeah, so we have a free Spinato certificate that we're going to cash in on.
You want to let me hold it?
No chance. No chance, but you can get all the info on Spinato's watch parties and pizza basketball contest, which is like horse but spelling out pizza, at Spinato'sPizzeria.com. Spinato's, the official pizza of the Phoenix Suns.
Boom. BC dropping all the names. Byron Scott, John Elway since his son went here, David Spade, Barry Bonds, Phil Mickelson. Yeah, Phil's the one that I feel like just
fat lever.
Just pay up, Phil. That's where I'm at.
Phil.
David Spade would be a fun one.
We got to see how Phil's doing with some other things that Phil had going on. Okay.
Yeah, but Phil has a lot of money.
Phil might not be cash flow positive at the moment.
David Spade worth an estimated $30 or $70 million.
Kimmel went to ASU, right?
Jimmy? Yeah. I think so.
Yeah. He went to Arizona State University. Yeah. What's his net worth? Because he might be worth more than James Harden.
No, he's not. There's no shot he's worth more than James Harden.
I'm kidding. He's worth 50. He's worth $50 million. He's paid $15 million a year.
He's worth the least amount out of anybody that we have talked about today.
$50 million? Mm-hmm. Didn't you just say David Spade was worth 30?
He's worth 70.
Oh. Get your bucks up, Kimmel. Jeez. Never mind. Never mind, dude. Keep saving.
Keep saving your money at this point. Look, you want to talk ASU hoops? Talk about we talked about the investment in and of itself. You want to talk about the product right now?
Can we go back to talking about prime James Harden?
No, but
because this team could use prime James Harden.
They really could. But let's go ahead. Let's get into Factor Cap, brought to you by Branded Bills. Make sure you elevate your brand with Branded Bills, the perfect headwear and apparel, and use code PHNX for 20% off your first order. I want everybody's answer in the chat. Captain Redbeard, Mr. Rubis over here. Factor Cap, Arizona State is going to win at least one of its final 4 games in the regular season.
Well, let's break it down. There are 4 games. BYU.
Ranked number 25.
Utah.
Unranked.
But above 500 in the Big 12.
Above 500.
Arizona.
Ranked number 22.
And the final game, Texas Tech.
Ranked number 10.
Without BJ Freeman, which granted they looked better without him.
And potentially without Jaden Quaintance.
Potentially without Jaden Quaintance.
Still no
we
update
don't have
medically.
Any update at all. And if you are down both, you're looking at
Well, you're definitely down BJ Freeman.
Yeah, well, you're looking at a 6-man rotation.
Yeah.
Do I think an Arizona State men's basketball team with a potentially 6-man rotation going up against 4 over 500 teams, 3 of those being ranked, 1 in the top 10.
And 2 on the road.
Do I think that they'll get a win? No. Can they get a win?
That's not what I asked you. I asked you
but
will.
If you ask me will.
I asked you, will they get a win?
No.
No,
Williams
they won't
Utah
get a
just
win.
fired their head coach.
Did they? Get on the typing is crazy. Quick.
I type really loud. You gotta put like a press release out or something. Change in leadership announced by Mark Harlan.
Wow,
okay, breaking.
Look at that.
Kyle, do we have a breaking news sounder in here?
They definitely don't.
Look in Suns. I mean, we might.
Breaking news.
Do we want to? Can I read this program that?
Yeah.
Or this
ahead.
announcement?
Yeah,
the University of Utah has made a change in leadership of its men's basketball program. This is the news we've all been waiting for. Concluding the tenure of head coach Craig Smith, assistant coach Josh Eilert will serve as the team's interim head coach for the remainder of the 2024-2025 season. Quote, a statement from Utah's athletic director Mark Harlan. I want to thank Craig for his work and commitment since he arrived in Salt Lake City. I'm not going to read this whole thing.
No, how long is it?
It's pretty long.
You know what's interesting about the whole thing?
What?
Is I'm pretty sure that Utah has a better overall record. They do this season than Arizona State does, and they just fired their coach.
Yeah, no, they actually, again, they're above 500.
And
They're 15-12. They're 7-9 in conference. Arizona State is 4-12.
They've won 2 of their last 3 games, by the way. Their last game, they lost on the road to UCF, lost 76-72.
Yeah, by 4 points.
Before that, at home, they beat Kansas State. Before that, they actually beat a ranked Kansas team.
That Kansas team was on the way down, though.
Yeah. If you go back, they got absolutely bludgeoned by Houston earlier in the year.
Yeah, but that's Houston. They beat BYU the game before that.
Yeah, in overtime.
Yeah, it looks like they're a middle of the pack Big 12 team. Yeah, sounds about right. Better place than Arizona State, who's under 500 and 4-12 in conference. Utah 7-9 in conference, 15-12 overall. But you have to decide. Is this acceptable for where we want to be in the Big 12, right? Or do we feel like we need a change? Do we have the right person leading the way? These are questions you have to ask yourself if you're coming over to this conference, and even if you're just Utah, who is bottom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, is the 7th lowest team in the Big 12.
Yeah, they're middle of the pack.
Ish, like bottom of the middle of the pack.
Yeah. So you think they will get a win? Or no, you said they won't get a win.
Well, I don't know now.
Even
I've always been a denier of Josh Eilert's abilities. I think he's a terrible coach.
I know you have been.
What
if he's the next coach at Arizona State? We're clipping this.
I've stood on this since day one. Josh Eiler can't coach.
Yeah. You have said
since his high school coaching.
You have said that. Yeah.
I have no idea who he is.
Big believer in that.
I wish him the best as long as he's not playing Arizona State. But maybe I don't know. Maybe they could beat Utah because they did beat Kansas State.
I don't need a maybe. I need a fact or I need a cap.
If I have to put money on it, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say they're not going to win.
They lose to a Utah that just fired its head coach, which would be very bad.
Sure.
They lose the next 4 games.
Yeah.
Captain Redbeard?
We talked a bit about this already.
Yeah, we did.
I said that they would win 2 more games, and I'm still standing by that.
He said they'd go 2.
I love the confidence.
I'm going to be the optimist here.
Can you tell whose first ASU hoop season it is?
Come on.
Hey, I love the confidence. I love the confidence.
Utah and Tech.
You know what?
Tech at
Maybe
home.
He's cooking.
Why is he cooking?
Because
JT Toppin was unguardable.
It would be the most ASU thing of all time.
We're talking no BJ Freeman. We're talking potentially no Jaden Quaintance.
No, the most ASU thing of all time
rotation.
would be to win 3 out of their next 4 and the loss to beat a Utah. All I know for sure is that they're beating the Wildcats.
Yeah.
That's all I know for sure.
I told him I'm not putting my money on that because last time I put my hair on it. And
you wanted to shave your head.
I didn't really. I thought it would be an interesting look to try, but
no,
you can't really try the look.
You have
to lean into it.
No, I looked me in the eyes.
No, I said I let
and
fate,
said I was going to do this anyway.
I know. I let fate do it. I didn't know if I was going to do it, so I put my hands into Arizona State basketball hands, and here we are.
Well, you should never do that. Why do we have a crowd?
Yeah, I don't know.
We have
I don't know what we're doing over
Emma,
here.
David, and Kevin are just
kind of say, you guys want to come in here for a second?
What's up? Can we get like a laugh track, like a live studio audience?
Like a clap or something?
I feel like a zoo animal in here.
There we go. Or maybe they're the zoo animals.
No, we're the dogs.
We're the dogs?
If you were a zoo animal, what zoo animal would you be?
That's a great question.
You know what? Sorry, dude. That's like a middle of June question.
No, we're here.
Wait. You have to do fact or cap.
Cap. They're not going to win.
Okay.
No, I'm going to say fact. I'll say fact. They're going to beat Utah. If they could beat Kansas State, I think they could beat Utah. Utah's not a very good team, despite their record. I'm curious. Everybody in the chat, let us know. Do you think fact or cap Arizona State is going to rattle off a win over the course of the next 4 regular season games?
Sean thinks that ASU will beat U of A. Sean has no faith in the Wildcats. So
yeah, Sean, no faith in the Kitties.
Yeah. Want that on record.
Great question though. I do want to get to that answer though. What zoo animal would you be? But
yeah, I knew you'd like that one.
We should probably take a quick break before we decide to hop into all of that fun.
I'm going to do it again. It's just too easy. It's like a layup at this point. All right. It's a $350,000
You look like you might need some
Lamborghini.
oil. It sounds like you might need some oil.
Well,
in
the
there.
voice is getting a little worn down. I gotta do it every single
Yeah,
show.
I mean,
But
you don't
of course
have
I'm
to, you
talking
choose
about. I have to. Gila River Resorts and Casinos, who wants you to get ready to rev your engines for the $350,000 Lamborghini Lux giveaway. Here's how you win. Every Friday in February, which we're coming up on the last one, you'll have a chance to win cash, free bonus play, or qualify at the grand finale drawing. They have weekly drawings every Friday at 7 p.m., and the grand finale drawing is March 1st at Wild Horse Pass, where one lucky winner will drive away in a Lamborghini. Don't miss your chance. This is an opportunity to experience the thrill of luxury and speed. Visit every Friday for your chance to win big. And I want to thank Gila River Resorts and Casinos Wild Horse Pass because they hosted a PHNX Suns watch party over the weekend. And even though the Suns vibes are pretty low, our community's vibes, we're sticking high. We're laughing through the pain together, and we're doing it at Gila River Resorts and Casinos because you do you. At Gila River Resorts and Casinos, visit playathila.com for more details.
Do the roar.
I was like, the roar.
You know what that is, guys? That is the sound of NASCAR returning to Phoenix Raceway March 7th through the 9th. For what, you might ask? Well, the answer is the stars of NASCAR are battling it out for the Shriners Children's 500 at Phoenix Raceway. If you haven't been, take our word for it. There is nothing like witnessing a live NASCAR battle at 200 miles per hour on this 1 mile oval raceway in the foothills of the Estrella Mountains. It's a best-in-class fan experience that the whole family won't forget. The weather is changing. It is getting really, really nice outside. Take advantage of it. Take some friends. Get the guys together. Take your wife, your girlfriend. Go by yourself. Take the kids. Doesn't really matter. It is going to be a beautiful, beautiful weekend, March 7th through the 9th. Again, over at Phoenix Raceway. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com. Let's start with Captain Redbeard. Captain Redbeard, what zoo animal would you be?
It's a good question.
It's a great question. And the fact that he prefaced it with it is like you're a zoo animal, not just an animal. You're in an enclosure.
Yeah, you're trapped.
Like, who is living the good life?
Well, no. Not who would you want to be. Who do you think you would be?
Oh, it's who you think
yeah,
you are?
Like, who are you? Like, what zoo animal are you?
I don't know if you can should we say who his is?
We could say it for each other.
I feel like it's a little bit more difficult to be like, this is who I feel like I
guess,
am.
Yeah.
I do have an answer for that, but yeah.
You have an answer for who you feel like you are?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm a monkey.
I can see it. But you're like the calm, wise monkey. Not the throwing poop at the wall monkey. Okay, we're all monkeys.
But I'll have
we're
my
the throwing poop at the
moments.
wall monkeys, and you're the older one who's just like, I hate these guys. Like, you're just sitting there like,
Wow.
like if you were in like The Lion King, you'd be like one of the wise old heads, you know.
Well, thank
He'd
you.
be
You're
Rafiki.
Rafiki. Captain Rafiki.
Captain Rafiki, huh? I could see it. I could also, for some reason, Narwhal is jumping out to me.
For Kyle?
Yeah.
You think they have narwhals in zoos?
Narwhal.
They have them at like SeaWorld.
That's a crazy pull.
I don't know what it is about it.
I'm about to Google something. Just wait.
Are you serious?
I didn't know they were real.
That's a
Are
good
you serious? You thought
I don't
narwhals
know.
were fake?
I don't know if they're, I thought like I was like, no, it's real. I was like, for some reason I was like, did you just say a fake animal? No.
Ooh, a red panda for
Red
Captain
panda for
Redbeard.
Captain-
That's a
no.
good one, Hunter's Own.
Maybe just like a panda in general for Captain Redbeard.
No, because pandas are kind of stupid animals.
Oh, that's true.
And Captain Redbeard is a very intelligent man.
That's true.
I think a red panda, though, would be cool. I think they have a higher IQ than the dumber pandas.
Do they?
I don't know. You
Okay.
want to? I mean, we're doing a lot of Googling
This
today.
is
Do red
Sean, we play BYU.
pandas
We play BYU
have
next.
a higher IQ than
The unicorns of the sea.
than white pandas? Let's see. Well, I mean, I got to go into a whole Reddit.
I don't
thread.
think
I'm not
that
doing
this-
all that.
This is a middle of July conversation.
They're generally quiet but subtle vocalizations such as squeals, twitters, or huff quacks.
When I hear Kyle, I think of
I
squeals and huff quacks.
yeah, I think
That's me.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
Squeal and Huff Quacks is like our buddy cop movie. Who's that? Ah, it's Squeals and Huff Quacks.
They behave in the same
Wait,
funny,
which one of us is
slow-
Squeals and which one of us is Huff Quacks?
You're a huff quack for sure.
You're Squeals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's 100% what it is. Okay, what is Ruby?
Oh, it's the most like annoying bird that just repeats everything.
No, I
that
don't
you
think
say.
you're a bird. Oh, you might be. You might be a bird. A cockatoo?
Oh, I'm a polar bear.
You're definitely not a polar bear.
Polar bear.
You're not a polar
I'm
bear.
really white.
No, you're not. We're not doing it just based off of how you look. What is Ruby, Captain?
I want to say
Captain Red Panda.
I want to say a giraffe.
A giraffe?
You got a long neck.
Yeah, is it the neck? Is it the... What is it exactly?
A baby giraffe.
Is it baby giraffe?
I just can't walk. I just can't do anything for myself.
Any particular reason why he's a baby?
Just came to my mind.
Yeah, baby giraffe.
Baby giraffe.
I mean, I could see it.
Sure.
I could see baby giraffe.
Everybody
It's
does
not a
think I'm like
perfect
12.
fit.
Like we walked into Gila, not for this watch party, but the one before. And I've never had any problems getting in Gila before. Like it's never been an issue. And I'm walking in and he's like, whoa, let me see your ID. And I'm like, oh, for sure. And he's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, oh, we are doing like a live event here. He's like, all right, well, I'm gonna need you to check in with my head of security. I'm like,
That's crazy.
I'm like, yo. Because he thought I was like 16.
Will in the chat says you're giving baby elephant energy.
Baby elephant? Why the baby animals? Why can't I be a grown-up elephant? Oh, actually, Eric, you remind me of Dumbo. Screw you!
He said, why can't I be an adult? Why do I have to be a baby animal in this conversation? Oh, God.
Desert Stro says I'd be a jellyfish because I'm so white that I'm translucent. But Desert Stro, I want to make it clear, was saying that about themselves, not me, even though it sounded like I was saying that about myself.
That you would be a jellyfish?
Yes. I love that there are people who found us in the middle of the football season who have no idea that we get to this level.
We get worse than this.
Yeah.
We get a lot
This is a
worse
teaser.
than this. This is a tease to what we can be, our true potential.
We still have legitimate things to talk about.
We do. You want to get into it? You want to talk about Kenny Dillingham?
Am I a baby elephant or a baby giraffe?
You're a baby jellyphant.
Jellyphant.
Yeah. Or a elaf? No.
Elaf.
You're I think out of the two, you'd be more of a baby giraffe.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why baby, but it's just
Makes me a little sad. I can't lie.
that you're a baby giraffe.
Yeah. Maybe that makes
what do you
want to
be?
I don't know. Just not that.
Just not a prey.
Two worst
You don't want to
answers.
be a prey.
Anyway. How about this? Ready?
I could see ostrich.
I'd like to be a snake. Oh my gosh. Speaking of snakes, Kenny Dillingham talked
there
with
we
the
go.
Arizona Diamondbacks.
I mean, you did it. Go ahead, take us there.
I mean, we basically already there. Let's roll the tape.
I played baseball growing up, wasn't very athletic, but I got to sit in their staff meeting today. So much more goes into this than I ever imagined. I just thought you hit the ball, caught the ball. So it's amazing, like, for me to get like behind the scenes of like what actually happens in a game is like refreshing for me to hear. To me, okay, the most important thing and the first thing that we talk about is basically trust. Like, if you don't have trust, everything else is dead. So we have a very, very honest, to a fault sometimes, culture. Number one is be a good person. It's very, very simple to be a good person. Make good decisions. Everybody knows what that means. When we, in our program for us, there is zero gray area. There's a study, multipliers and dividers. Has anybody ever heard of that? A multiplier, which means somebody who smiles, brings energy, positive, pretty much action, can only make the people around them 15% better. A negative person, it's called a divider, they can make people around them 30% worse. That shows you how important bringing the right people into the building are and the power of good people that come together. If you get everybody in your building with positive light, everybody around is 15% better. Competitiveness, okay? We compete in everything because competitors compete, bottom line. And you either want to win or you accept losing. We went on a run of 8 straight games because they played hard. They weren't scared. Competing is contagious. We have to have the trust, have to. And the trust is brutal honesty. And the brutal honesty is real. That comes to me too. And I think the best thing that we did last year is our guys had real relationships, to have real confrontation, to have real competitive confrontation, and then they would all be a family at the end, which is very difficult. And if you can create that conflict while also coming together, everybody is going to become better. And that's kind of our mission. That's kind of my mission.
Man, I would run through a wall for that guy.
Yeah.
I haven't heard the multipliers and the dividers thing.
Really?
No, I haven't heard that. And that makes a lot of sense. I mean, maybe I have. I just have the memory of a elephant.
There you go.
But I
Actually,
really like
elephants never forget.
Oh, that's true. What is it? What is it?
Baby giraffe it is.
Anyway, Desert Stro says Dilly Dilly cooking. It's hard not to be a fan of him, and it's hard to like ignore the fact that okay, this guy clearly has like a vision and a plan, and it's working. And so anybody who's like, oh, it's just not going to translate, or what if they never get the true blue blood 5-star recruit? It's like he clearly has a vision for how this should work out and how it should play. And you could just tell when you hear him speak about it, how sure in it he is and how passionate he is about it.
Yeah, I think for me, like this clip and everything that he did over the last couple of days with the Diamondbacks doesn't even really have to do with Arizona State for me. Like this guy, from the moment he got hired at Arizona State, tried to tell people, hey, like I'm from the Valley. I love the Valley. Like I grew up an Arizona State fan, a Cardinals fan, a Diamondbacks fan, and this is his way of still being integrated into the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being able to talk with Torrey and the players and see kind of how they function as an organization, mind you, that was 2 years removed from going to the World Series, right? So I think having a conversation like this doesn't move the needle, and it shouldn't move the needle for a ton of people. But I think the big takeaway from this is Kenny continues to be genuine, and he just wants to make people better in any way possible, right? Whether that be college kids, helping them, achieve their dreams at the college level for football, or talking to, baseball players ahead of a season or ahead of spring training and discussing, how they can improve the team. You obviously have to approach talking to these guys different than you do talking to 18, 19-year-olds.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
So for him to use the multiplier and divider conversation as opposed to just like going in there all hyped up, all energy, the way that you maybe could get some younger athletes to respond. This is a very simple conversation that he had that I think can extend not just for athletes, but for everybody, right?
Sure.
The multipliers, dividers conversation of like a positive person can make you and make everybody around them 15% better,
Sure.
or you can be a divider and you could make everybody around you 30% worse. Like that's something that can carry on, and I appreciate the fact that he took a different route to try and I'm not going to say coach, but speak to these guys.
Yeah, I think that it's a message that pro teams could definitely benefit from hearing. I will be honest, though. I think that in the best way possible, like hearing that just reinforces like Kenny Dillingham was born to coach college football.
He was, yes.
Right? Like not that anything he was saying was false, but it's a lot harder to to build a roster full of those kind of guys in the pros, because the acquisition of high level talent is necessary to really win championships, right? And that's the same in college sports, but I think it's easier to build this type of, let's get everybody in the building who's the same type of person when you're building a college program. And I think Kenny could go to the NFL and have success, but I think like his style of coaching, his brand of culture building,
at least right now, yeah.
I think it plays the best in college football. I think it would play good anywhere. You show up to a team and you build a team like that, and you're able to execute that vision, like that works in any sport at any level.
Yeah.
But I think specifically college football, and it's why it clicked so fast with this specific sport. I think it's just that's the perfect mindset for it. But I think you could take bits and pieces of, like you said, outside of it. Like I know we talk about like wanting to like strangle each other during the show and stuff, but obviously like I enjoy doing a show with you. And if I didn't, it would be a lot harder to do a show with you. And it's like if it's actively like, man, I don't enjoy doing it, not even neutral,
makes everything worse.
I'm not going to be able to hit the same levels, and like the same thing vice versa, right? So that's why when you start working with somebody, you're like, oh, wow, I actually like working with you. It's like, man, I remember when I worked with people I didn't feel like that about. Like, if you can get that mindset in there, like, you're going to be better at anything. And so that's the type of stuff that he's also saying in living rooms.
Yeah.
And to his team and to 18-year-olds, 17 or 16-year-olds, right? Like it makes sense. It's really simple, and it makes you want to be like a better contributor.
Yeah,
right?
100%. And you got, Arizona fans in the chat talking about Kenny culture is a real thing and talking about
Sean's the Sun Devil.
how much they, there are Arizona fans in this office that are like, man, I just hate how much I like this guy.
Literally all of them.
Literally.
There is not a single person in this office.
But what is it about? Like, I want to break that down. I want to figure that out. Like, what is the secret ingredient to Dilly that is just like, he's just so likable?
Well, I'll tell you.
Because he was likable when they were 3-9.
Yeah, I'll tell you what that secret ingredient is.
Yeah, I know where you go. After the break.
You said it, not me. I love our friends at Pure Edibles.
How much?
A lot.
A lot, yeah.
A lot. Listen.
Listen.
I am just an awful sleeper.
Really?
I've joked about I'm just such a chill guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the chill guy meme? Not me.
Not you.
Not a chill guy. Like, I'm a chill guy.
Captain Redbeard, chill guy.
Chill guy.
Yeah.
See, he's a chill guy and he's a chill guy.
Yeah.
See, I'm a chill guy, but I'm not like a chill.
No, you have the anxiety of
guy.
a baby giraffe.
Yeah. Honestly, nailed it. Right? And that's why when I saw Pure Edibles and on their tin, they had a sleep-specific gummy. And when I ate it, not only did it taste really good, but using the blend of unique cannabinoids such as CBN, CBG, and CBD along with THC, I was snoozing. I was honk schnooing, right? I was completely out like a light, right? Just like, the lyric that we don't mention from an artist anymore. But I was out like a light. And whatever you need from an edible, whether it's to sleep, be uplifted, relax, unwind, whatever it is, you can go find yourself some Pure Edibles products at one of the over 130 dispensaries across Arizona.
Look, guys, if you are in the market to make a big change in 2025, like selling your home, there's only one team to really check out. That is the Carol Royce team. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or a seasoned pro, buying a home can be tricky. That's why we recommend our friend Carol Royce. Of course, our real estate market is competitive, but like a great coach, the Carol Royce team is going to build you a game plan to get you into the perfect home for you. When you go with the Carol Royce team, know that you're going to get the best for the best possible price. Okay. She is so confident that you're going to love your home that if within 18 months you aren't happy with it, the Carol Royce team is going to buy it back, which is absolutely crazy, to be honest with you. You guys should.
18-month trial run, dude.
In a home? Take advantage.
That's like how long I've been working here.
It's absolutely remarkable. If you're ready to find your dream home, take the next step. Call Carol Royce or visit Carol online at carolroyceteam.com. That's carolroyceteam.com. Terms and conditions apply.
18-month, like, imagine. You're like, I've had this phone for 18 months.
Random question again.
Oh, God, yes. Let's go.
What is the most impressive thing that you think you could complete in 18 months? Like a transformation, like a career thing.
18 months.
What do you think is the most impressive
time.
thing that you could accomplish in 18 months of your life?
18 months. I feel I could definitely do like an Ironman or something, for sure.
Okay.
If I have I just get to dedicate 18 straight months to something.
18 straight months. The most impressive thing that you could do.
Yeah, I think definitely like an ultra marathon or something.
An ultra marathon.
Maybe start with a marathon.
You're going like physical. You're doing physical.
Well, I mean, yeah, I've work stuff. That's basically what I've just been doing anyway. It's just dedicating every possible second into doing something like this. So yeah, if for 18 straight months, all I had to focus on was doing like a show or something, I think it would be the best show ever. But yeah, we're already doing that. So,
Captain, what do you think is the most impressive thing you could accomplish in 18 months?
Win an MMA match.
Oh,
really?
Dude.
In 18 months?
Against another, like a professional MMA
not at that level, but there's all these types of tournaments you can enter.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'm saying not just fight in one, but win it.
Yeah. Oh, I think, you give me and Kyle 18 months to train. I get to train Kyle and then somebody else gets to train me.
Wow.
You guys fight each other?
Oh, no, I wouldn't fight Kyle. I wouldn't want to do that to him.
$1 million on the line.
Oh, I would fight Kyle. I mean, at a certain, Kyle and I could totally throw hands and be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's like in like a sanctioned boxing match and not because like I called him my little workhorse earlier this week. Like if it's
Not earlier this week.
or like last week,
Yeah.
whatever. Sorry, my bad.
My stallion. That's what it is. It's Captain Redbeard.
I think Kyle and I would be fine after that.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you would do an Iron Man. He would
I
win
like
an
Kyle's
MMA
answer
match.
better.
It's a good answer.
I like
it's
Kyle's
a really
answer
good
better.
answer. You want
What's
to get
your
back
answer?
to Dilly?
No, what's your answer?
I feel like in 18 months, I could probably be fluent in a number of languages.
That's good. Yeah, I like that. Would you try to learn them all at once, or would you try
No,
to
I
learn
think
them
I would
at a
go
time?
one at a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you speak any other languages besides English?
I could speak Spanish pretty well. Like I could definitely get through
Hit me a
Mexico if I had to. We're
Hit
not
me,
doing
hit
that. We're not
me.
doing. Maybe on a PHNX Puffs.
Talk about los
maybe do that.
ambientes.
We could do Spanish. I used to speak Arabic growing up
That's
for
hard.
a while because I spent so much time with my grandma, but I had to go to school in the U.S., so we kind of lost that one for a little bit. But yeah, that's where I would go. You had a point that you were going to make about Dilly.
I did,
I'm
and then I
interested
heard
to
about
see-
Carol Royce's 18-month return policy, and I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool. You
Welcome
wanna know,
to the
do you want to know
PHNX Sun
why?
Devils show.
Welcome to PHNX Sun Devils when ASU basketball is multiple
Bad.
games under 500, and it's the middle of February or the end of February.
Don't worry, spring football right around the corner.
24-hour stream right around the corner. We're going to have a lot of this type of stuff in the 24-hour
Oh, we're gonna have
stream.
some fun. We're gonna have some
a good
fun.
time. Anyways, you want to know what the secret sauce is for Kenny
That's what I
Dillingham?
want to know.
He actually gives an F. Like he actually cares. You know, you can tell when somebody is doing something that is like everything to them, right? Because if I stood up and gave the same speech about coaching a football program,
Wouldn't really
and
pull.
word for word,
Yeah.
and like I'm a good actor, man. Like I can go word for word with passion and energy. Like you would be able to tell the difference between me and Kenny.
Yeah.
And that's why when they were 3-9, every time you listened to him speak after the game, you were never mad at him. You felt mad with him.
You were just mad at your life.
You were mad with him.
Yeah.
Right? Because he was never like, making BS excuses that felt like he was completely whatever. Like usually he's like, yeah, we have to be better. This was that.
He didn't try and fill he didn't like just try and say what people wanted to
No
hear.
BS.
No.
No BS, but not in like a way that he's like mean to people.
No.
Like no BS and just like, I tell you what I feel.
I feel like that's relatable. Like I think relatability is a big thing. Like I
Mhm.
feel like people can relate to Kenny because of his age. I think players are able to relate. I think assistants right under him are able to relate to him as a coach and kind of the route that he took to get to where he is today as the head coach at Arizona State. And then I think fans can relate, right? I feel like that's the big thing for the fan connection to Kenny Dillingham is Kenny loves Arizona State. He loves college football as much, if not more, than the fan base in and of itself. So when you do see these types of emotions from Kenny where he's like celebrating on the field after a win or
the
he
Utah win.
Yeah, or he's upset after a loss, right?
Mhm.
It's he doesn't dive into coach speak. He dives into the way that he's feeling, which is the same way that the fans are feeling. And I think that's why it translates so well.
Absolutely. How could you, if you listen to that clip and you also saw the post-game Utah where he was celebrating with fans, and those are the only two things that you have ever seen or heard about Kenny Dillingham, you would be a massive fan of the guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would like literally remember his first press conference. I know you do too. It took one answer
He was crying.
to be like, okay, like this, the Arizona State football's arguably number one fan is also their head coach.
Yeah. And sometimes fans, I mean, you see it in other sports where there's like ownership, right? Maybe not as much fan coaches, but more fan like owners.
Right.
And that doesn't always work, right? Some of these quote
Like
unquote,
Budenholzer was a Suns fan.
some of
growing up.
these quote unquote fans, it's tough for them to really remove themselves from the fan part of it, right? And for Kenny,
But in this case, I think it
it
drives
works.
it.
It works.
Which is why I feel like back to the point about his style of coaching, that specific speech, I feel like just being perfect for college football specifically is if Kenny were to go coach somewhere else, I think he'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I think he'd have wild success. And I think he would bring that culture, and I think he would be in love with the team that he's coaching.
I agree.
Nothing will be the same as coaching Arizona State.
No.
And maybe 40 years from now, he wants to do something else, right? Because people
Hopefully
coach in
not.
their 80s, right? But you look at his contract, and the contract is basically, as long as I keep winning, I keep getting automatic 1-year extensions to the end of a contract that I already have multiple years on.
Yeah.
Right. If he were to take his coaching talent somewhere else,
No.
I'm just saying.
Don't just
It
say.
would work. It would work, but it wouldn't be the same.
It'd feel fake.
That is why it's such a beautiful marriage between the two, because I think Arizona State's the biggest beneficiary from having a guy like Kenny coaching, and I think Kenny gets such a boost from coaching Arizona State.
Yeah, it's like a high, I feel like, for Kenny.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah. Wow, we're
We're back to the animals.
unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Dimitri in the chat saying Todd Graham and Herm Edwards could never do something like that.
Oh, they could. It would just not go. I think Todd could.
I think it would have to be to the right group.
Yeah, I think Todd could.
I couldn't
I don't
see
think
doing it.
Herm would get laughed out of the locker room.
Yeah, they might not laugh at him like while it's happening, but after
No.
the fact, they would.
No.
After the fact, 100%. He'd
No.
start talking about recess when asked about, the
You
quarterback.
know, I get up at
competition.
4 a.m. to lift.
Literally, that was like a point.
I know.
Literally, he was
I
asked about
saw
a quarterback competition and dove into recess.
Yeah. Or
What?
I remember, like, and again, I was all on the Herm train. Like, I'll raise my hand. I was young and impressionable.
Yeah.
And he got me. Okay, hand up.
Herm Edwards duped you.
He got me. Okay, I was a victim.
Yeah.
Okay?
Wow. Okay.
I was a victim. And I was all in on the
in.
Herm train. In the first year, first year, there was not really a reason to like get off the Herm train, right? And then you were like, well, that wheel kind of fell off. And then,
the other wheel
we just
fell
lost
off.
that cart.
Yeah.
Oh, our conductor doesn't know how to conduct anymore.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
no,
not
no.
on a train anymore. The conductor thinks he's flying a plane.
Oh, we're actually 3 hours behind pace.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're going the wrong direction.
Right. You're just learning all these. Anyway, I remember at the beginning, and something I look back to now that I'm like, that was the warning sign and I don't know who it was, and I'm not trying to hate on that, but there was like this package done about Herm Edwards and his like daily routine, like the day in the life of Herm Edwards.
It was one of the local news stations.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was you.
It was not. It was not I.
Cronkite's own. And like, I'd say like 60 to 75% of it was just about how like he stayed physically active.
And that right
And
there
that
was your,
right there,
like,
when you look back at it, you're like, oh, maybe this guy wasn't really
maybe he
doing
should
the
spend some
most.
more time coaching as opposed to waking up
Well,
at 5 in the morning.
honestly, I think that if he did more time coaching, we'd actually be in a worse situation.
You needed Herm as far away from the X's and
I think you
O's
just
as you
needed
could get.
You needed to tell him he actually needed to get an extra 10,000 steps in so that he had to do a couple
And go to
laps
sleep
around the track.
earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what
And
Herm
wake
Edwards
up
needed to
earlier
do.
and hit the gym earlier.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Any other wild questions?
I
or
don't know. I
random
mean,
comments
this has
before we
been
get out of here?
this is like when Vince Carter was later in his career, but he'd still have like a dunk. And you'd be like, "Whoa, that's vintage Vince Carter."
Yeah.
This is vintage PHNX Sun Devils.
Yeah, we had our moment,
Yeah.
our hour-long moment.
Yeah, just good conversation about ASU mixed in with just some frankly ridiculous crap.
Oh yeah, Red Panda. You got anything before
Oh, that's hard.
we close it off?
I like that.
Red Panda does go kind
I
of
like
crazy
that.
as a nickname. Why do you have the best nicknames?
No comment.
Yeah, that's fair.
What was a Captain?
Redbeard,
No. Duh. Oh, Captain Coattails.
Captain Coattails.
Mm.
I don't know if that one rolls. I mean, it rolls off the
it totally
tongue.
rolls off the tongue considering the fact I didn't remember it.
Yeah, Captain Redbeard and Red Panda kind of just go. They kind of go crazy. To be
Any
completely honest
questions,
with you.
Captain?
Any final thoughts on today's?
I think Dilly's so likable because
Yeah.
he's so transparent.
Hmm.
Like, he literally says everything that he's thinking right there in the moment. There's so many coaches that get up there and they're like, it feels like they're reading from a teleprompter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't take anything from that, but he's such a motivator. Like, he's a motivational speaker. That's really what Dilly seems to be.
Yeah.
Like, every time you hear him, it's something that's going to motivate you, which is pretty crazy because, like, if you're just a fan and you're just tuning into a random Dilly press conference, like, you wouldn't expect to leave feeling fired up.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot.
It does.
And that's why the whole Valley's behind him, you know? And that's why people at the D-backs are getting fired up too. You know, he's just a motivator and he's transparent. That's at least what I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I leave the pressers and I come in here and I tell you guys, I'm fired up, ready to run through a wall.
It's hard to, like, because you go from the pressers or anything, and then you're like, okay, I have to figure out what to clip from this, and every single answer is good.
Yeah.
By
like,
the
let's
way,
just play the whole thing.
if you're watching on TV, Party Always Continues over at gophnx.com. I have a late answer to the 18-month question.
Okay.
It's vintage PHNX Sun Devils.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could become a really good kicker. Like maybe this is just the stupid confidence. Practice squad NFL level kicker.
Practice squad.
If I had 18 months solely dedicated to doing that with all the resources and equipment possible, like I feel like I could do that. I'm a pretty competitive guy and I got a pretty good leg. So I feel like I could do it.
Very interesting.
18 months?
Very, very interesting.
Okay, maybe not that level.
To say the least.
I think I could. I think I'd be a college level kicker. Which there is a significant drop off.
Very significant.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, that's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. If you enjoyed today's content and all of the content that we have for you here at PHNX Sports, give us a follow on social at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow this guy, the Blind Mouse, at Eric Ruby. That is Eric with a K. You can follow the Red Panda at K Coop Sports, guys. And we will be back on Wednesday for an Arizona State post-game show. The Sun Devils taking on BYU. Make sure you tune in to that one. But as always, go Devils. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.